why I believe the Miami Hurricanes has a chance to beat the Florida State Seminoles. Now, we know the Miami Hurricanes had struggled somewhat in their last couple of games against Clemson, against Virginia, lost to NC State, but they beat the last two teams. Now, if we really want to go back and dissect this whole situation and understand that Miami, despite poor quarterback play, has been in every game this season. If you go back to the beginning of the season where um, Miami actually scored a lot of points. They scored, um, if you go back to some of the games, if you go back to the first game, they scored 38. Texas A&M 48. Bethune 48. Temple 41. That was in 4 games before they bye week. After they bye week, Miami has only scored 30 points once, and that's in the North Carolina game when the game was pretty much over. But Miami has scored 28, 29. Their lowest point total was 6 against an NC State team that really did not do anything. Miami's defense pretty much hold serve, but the offense was stagnant. So from the bye week, coming out of that bye week, why Miami offense was as stagnant as it is, don't know. We really don't know because now you only got 2 games left on the schedule because you have you have Florida State, then you have Louisville, then you have Boston College, which a Boston College team that really took it to um, Florida State. You got to put Duke up there, and you got to put Clemson. So if you think about it, 31-29, they lost by 2 points to Boston College. Lost 2 points to Florida State. Um, Clemson lost in overtime to Florida State by 7, I believe. So if you think about it, Miami did what they needed to do against a Clemson and all of them guys because Miami went to overtime 2 times back to back with both teams. Now, some will look at this game and say, well, you know what? Hey, okay, Mario ain't coaching. Mario's not doing this. The quarterback play is pretty bad. All right, that's fair assessment. That is fair assessment of everything. But we do have to sit back and look and say, hey, the Hurricanes have done some great things. Their defense has served. Their offensive line has played better. The two common denominators is the quarterback and the play calling. I do believe Miami should not start Tyler Van Dyke. I think you start the game off with Emory Williams, but some advocated for Ja'Cory Brown because Ja'Cory Brown did play against Florida State last year when we got beat 40, I think it was 45-3. But he did some decent things. Would you want to send him out there with a new approved offensive line to see what he has? You can mix it up. You could do some zone reads. You could do some um, add more to the running game. Now, Florida State don't protect the run well because that's something Duke and Boston College have done is be able to run over them. I believe Florida State will come into this game knowing that they don't have a strong running game, run defense, and they will have to do whatever it takes to technically slow down um, the Miami Hurricanes, because Miami uses multiple running backs. They use probably no more. Sometimes they use two, and sometimes they use three. So I think Miami is going to throw as many running backs at the Clemson defensive line. The keys to this game for me is Miami. For Miami, the keys to this game is they have to slow down Florida State. And the way you do that, take a page out of the NFL, control the clock, grind the clock out, time possession, get first downs, don't make simple mistakes. One of the main keys also, don't turn the ball over. If Miami turns the ball over, this could get out of hand quick, especially if Tyler Van Dyke is the quarterback. It definitely would be able to get out of hand quick because the fact of the matter is Miami is not built to come back, and Florida State can put points on you fast. They can get on top of you quick, and by the time you do that, by the time you realize it, the game is over. You know, so Miami they're gonna have to like really keep it simple, not trying to do too much. Now, if it's a big play there, take it. But if it's not, continue the clock manager. The more you can keep Florida State on the sideline, the better it would be for the Miami Hurricanes. You got to eliminate penalties. No stupid penalties, no stupid turnovers, and that stuff like that. But I do believe across the board, talent-wise, Miami and Florida State by even. People look at Florida State because the way they was running through the season and say, "Oh, they dominate. Oh, they're gonna blow us out." I even had a guy on my job that I'm friends with say, "Oh, we're gonna blow y'all out. We're gonna blow y'all out." And I told him simple. I said, "Yeah, if Tyler Van Dyke starts, y'all will blow us out. If Tyler Van Dyke don't start, y'all won't blow us out." I don't think anybody realize how good Miami's defense is. And I can say this. With Williams and Cam Kitchen back there, I believe we have the best safety duo in the nation right now. Um, I do, but for what I have heard also is that we could probably most likely will change cornerbacks because I think one of the Brown brothers is a little bit bigger, and that he could probably um, be a little bit physical with Keon Coleman, and that's the guy because you got to think Keon Coleman, the games that they was close and Keon Coleman didn't really do much. If you could shut Keon Coleman out, excuse me, if you could shut Keon Coleman out, and then you probably you'll have a chance. I also talking on the other side of the ball is that okay, if you look at it for this standpoint purposes only, if you look at that and say, well, hey, you know what? All right, this is what we're looking at. We run the ball. We don't have any tight ends. I think that's one of the elements of the Miami offense is really missing is the tight end. If Miami had a real good tight end, I think they would have been in a way better position because you got to think, what's Tyler Van Dyke comfortability from last year was? Will Mallory and Xavier Stripple. You don't have a Will Mallory, so now he's eyeing Xavier Stripple all the time. A quarterback's best friend in the NFL, slot guy and a tight end, two of their best friends. And you probably have a running back that could catch out the backfield, per se. But I do not think Tyler Van Dyke should. I don't think Tyler Van Dyke should start for the rest of the season. I think they need to go in another direction. And if they want to have a chance to upset Florida State Saturday, they definitely will need to not start Tyler Van Dyke. Now, I do believe Florida State has the best quarterback, Jordan Travers. And I think if Miami's defense could do what they did against Drake May for 3 quarters, I believe Miami could win this game. but you have to play sound. You're going to have to play sound defense. And I think Miami's defense could get to him. I think Ruben Bain and those guys, they definitely could get to him. I think Lance Gitry is going to draw up some exotic blitzes to the skies. Jordan Travis, get to him, round him. Because if you get to Jordan Travis, he's just like any other quarterback. He's going to be able to show frustration. He's going to be try to be aggressive. Now, the one key element Miami going to have to watch out in this game. Florida State will probably take a page out of North Carolina playbook. If Miami start getting to Jordan Travis a lot and start hitting him, they're going to try to go up tempo. How Miami is going to handle the up tempo plays of Florida State. They're going to want to run. They're going to want to get up tempo quick. How Lance Gentry and Mario Cristobal is going to be able to do the things that they need to do and manage the time wisely to slow down and get the right personnel in, because it's going to come. That up tempo is going to come, and there's going to be some struggles if Miami can't do that. Miami going to have to create turnovers also to stay in the game. They're going to have to get sacks and create turnovers for Florida State. They cannot go in there thinking, especially with the crowd noise and everything like that in Tallahassee, it's going to be a problem. I think you're going to have to me, I think you're going to have to use a two-headed monster in Williams and Jacory to offset whatever you need to do for Florida State. Now, I do believe we need to get to our receivers a little bit more. I think we need to have a good position going to the way that we need to do and everything like that. So how can we do that? Well, just think about it. Just think about it. What are the things that can help Miami? Not taking it personal. Being very methodic down the field. Don't do so much dinking ducks, but don't try to lock on to Xavier Strepel. Use Isaiah Horton and all them guys. Use Jacoby George and all them guys to soften up the middle. Then you could probably use Kobe Young to run deep patterns. The tight ends, if you use them in the game, they got to catch the ball. They dropped some passes last week in the North NC State game that was kind of like mind-boggling. What are you doing? So my trepidation with that is that I feel like Miami does have a shot in this game. People don't think they don't have a shot. Everybody's written to blow off. They got Florida State gassed up for the national championship, or if they do this, they'll make it. But guess what? If Miami comes in there and upset them, guess what? That's Miami's bowl game for the year. Then you switch the narrative for the recruits that want to come to Florida State, because you got to think about it. Florida State only has 1 5-star. Miami has 4. You know what I'm saying? Miami has more 4-star than Florida State. The only other team that probably have more is Alabama. So with that being said, the talent wise between these two teams ain't that vast of a difference. Because if Miami goes in this game and say Miami loses by 3 points, that's still a win for them. You know why? Because nobody's going to expect them to hang with Florida State. Even if Miami loses by 1 point in overtime or whatever case, this game can go into overtime if you think about it. Miami has to play clean. They have to play clean. They cannot sit there and try to run up and down the field with Florida State, because you're not going to be able to do that. You're going to get run out of the field. You're going to get run off the field. Like I said, Miami needs to control the clock, run the ball, because then when you see Florida State creep up in the box to try to stop the run, then you go over the top. You soften them up. And the more you soften them up, They're gonna change, and then you're gonna go back to the run, start getting them chunk yardage, and then you're gonna be able to punch it in the end zone. These are the things that Miami gonna have to do to make sure that they be able to last in this game from the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and down to the last few seconds of the fourth quarter. If this game becomes close in the fourth quarter, and it's tied or Miami has the lead, I could tell you this: Miami will pull this game out. 14 points, 14 and a half points is a lot of points for Florida State to cover, but I'm going with the under. I do believe Miami will cover the spread, and I do believe Miami will win this game. So leave your comments below. Tell me what you think. Do Miami have a shot? What are the key differences that you feel that Miami can do? What Miami can do to win this game? Until then, but the game comes on at 3:30 tomorrow. It's going to be one of the high-profile afternoon games. Miami should have beat NC State last week. Then they would have played that night. It would have been a night game, a 7:30 or 8 o'clock game. But until then, Cane fans, go you. I'm out.